Hello, everybody. I know this was a very short notice, impromptu little live. So if you didn't get noticed or notified or you weren't able to make it today, I'll send out the recording. And for those of you that were able to jump on last minute, I'm so glad that you're here. Um, and welcome to my world. If you are new in my world or if you've been around for a while, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. Drop in the chat if you're new to my world or if you're an OG and you've been in for a long time or a while or taken other kind of trainings or at least, scoped me out on Instagram, I guess, too. Hi. OG, brand new OG. Okay. Thank you so much again for just jumping on. And today, and this is a little bit random and like I said, very impromptu, but I want to just talk about what is Shelby doing? This context, and I'm Shelby, by the way, if you're like, wait, who's Shelby? What is Shelby up to now? What is Shelby doing now? Because I feel like there's a lot of little different things happening within my world and my different containers and spaces. And I've got 2 social media accounts that I'm running. And so I just wanted to break it kind of down and just share what I'm doing right now. And if you've got questions or need any clarity, drop those in the chat as well too. And also, of course, every time I do one of these, I want little takeaways to happen and little like nuggets that you can implement into your life or your business, because now I am also doing business coaching, which I'll go deeper into that too. So, and what I really want to share kind of off the bat in this context too is like, because of like my life and how I conduct my life and how I continue to invest in myself, and I invest in myself because of my business. But what I really learned between the two of like life and business, whether you own and run a business or not, totally fine, is like the lessons that I've learned through business like go hand in hand with like life. So it's been so amazing to, on one hand, in like EYEHESIVE in my community there, I do life coaching and we talk about really specific topics as far as navigating, eye removal, eye loss, wearing a prosthetic eye. And then the life coaching, we go deeper into personal power and like identifying like where we're powerless over and where we can really step into our personal power. And we talk about self-trust and trusting in the process and resentments and fears. And we're going to go deeper into lots of like self-development in our thoughts and our emotions and like our just general way of living and how we want to continue to show up in our lives despite our visual impairment. We get to grow as a movement and a community of people that have lost an eye. And I just think that is like the raddest, coolest thing that ever existed in the whole wide world. And it's like all those things apply to business too, and vice versa. So whether you're just on this self-development of your life with one eye, because that's most of my community here, or just self-development in general, or you have a little taste for entrepreneurship and maybe you already run a business or that's something you're interested in, just knowing that like as my life grows, my business grows, and as my business grows, my life grows, and the things that I learn in life, I implement into my business, and the things I learn in business, I implement into my life. And it's such a beautiful balance. And even if you're just focused on life, if you shouldn't just be focused on business. It should always be like life and business. But if you're just here for life stuff, like the lessons I've learned through business are so conducive to life. So that's really how I feel like these trainings and different things that I get to bring forth are so beneficial, because I have the lens of business, which is such a different lens, and then a lens of just life and navigating one eye. So it's kind of the overall like context between my 2 worlds that get to like actually mesh together quite well, because it's like so cohesive, with what I do as well too. So in EYEHESIVE, my world in EYEHESIVE right now, if you've been following along, maybe you're in the membership. I run the membership, One Eye Era membership, and we meet twice a month, and there's lots of extra little things we do. And we go into some of those topics I already talked about. and just really dive deep into like the personal development, being on this journey together with one eye. And then maybe you follow on social media. I'm hosting the 3rd annual I Connect virtual conference on June 8th. And I say it like that because I am like mind blown that there's about to be a 3rd one. Like when I started and I launched the first one, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how many people I wanted to attend. I was like, "Well, just see what happens." And it wasn't until my business coach was like, "Well, let's maybe like plan and put a little bit more of a strategy together here, Shelby, so that you actually get some sales and some people experiencing this conference." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so that was the fall of 2022, and we had 26 attendees, and I was just like, oh my gosh, every time like a ticket was sold and just being in that space, and it was like went over on time, and like probably had all the technical issues, difficult issues, and nothing probably ran like quote unquote smoothly, but it was like made me cry, and I still think about it and I cry just because it was like a very monumental point in my life and in my business and in EYEHESIVE. That was the first ever thing that I launched. This was before merch, because I remember right after I had launched that, I started selling the merch. Like I had gotten the order in and then I announced it on my page, like, we now have merch, and I like had all these sales on the merch like right away too. And it was just like to look back on those moments. So whether you're talking about your own personal life or you're talking about business, like, are you spending time like looking at all the good things? And we've talked about this, enjoying life, like every little bit of it and squeezing all the juice out of it. But it's like we have to like remember how good some of those really, really small things were. And they were maybe really big at the moment, but because we've done bigger, quote unquote, or better things since, we forget about these like little times in our life and in our business. So really remembering those little moments. And I often tell people to do this too, like at the end of every month, to just sit down for a moment and look back through your calendar, through your pictures, through your text messages, and really just sit there and remember all the little interactions, the conversations, the moments, the trips. Like we forget sometimes that we go on trips. Like, I don't know if you've ever done that, but like so many things happen and it's like busy and it's on to the next and one to the next. And it's like, wait, I went on a trip last month. Like I totally like that felt so long ago, or like I just like skimmed past it and on to the next thing. And so again, when you're doing things, especially new things and scary things, or you're building something for the first time, or you're recovering from an eye injury, or you just got your first prosthetic eye, or you are navigating something behind the scenes at home, like every little step you take, big or small, is in the right direction, is building and compiling together for bigger and better things, or just at least for your experience, your life experience. So don't like surpass anything, and really acknowledge and honor where you're at and how far you've come. So our 3rd one is coming up. And then we had our 2nd one last April. Again, it was double the size. It was like a huge party. It was so much fun. I brought in so many new people into EYEHESIVE that I had never even met before, which was so amazing, because I felt like the first conference was like a lot of people that I had just met and had a lot of like really close communication with and conversations with. And then it was like the 2nd one was like bringing in people that I didn't even know, that were just kind of finding me and like buying a ticket right away. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that again too, just so big and amazing. And then our 3rd one's coming up. And if you are in the One Eye Era membership, you get immediate access, a ticket to the conference, which is so fun. And then the tickets are on sale right now at eyehesive.com. Use code Shelby at checkout and you'll get 33% off of your ticket, and 50% of all of the proceeds go to the Fun Eye Fund. And if you don't know what the Fun Eye Fund, it's a nonprofit charity that we raise money to donate to eyes. We donate prosthetic eyes and fun eyes to people that don't have a fun eye, or insurance doesn't cover it, or they need an eye. So it's a great cause. My friend Rachel, which you may know her on social media, Rachel McKensley, she runs it, she owns it, and I'm just on the board, and I just try to raise as much money everywhere I can for it. So it's been such a fun addition to just helping her grow that and being a part of that and just getting prosthetic eyes and fun eyes in the hands of more people, young and old. So go check it out. If you've got questions, you can Instagram message me, send me a DM at EYEHESIVE, or you can email me at customercare@eyehesive.com. I am doing fun exclusive offers for the members inside the conference. And so get your ticket sooner, because I'm going to start rolling out these emails with these exclusive offers over the next few weeks. So you want to be in the emails with your ticket, getting the offers, getting all the prep stuff for the conference before it happens on June 8th. We're also going to have a iConnect pre-party, so keep an eye out for that. Very excited. It'll be obviously virtual. Everything I do is virtual. The easiest to just bring everything together and everyone together. And then we've got 4 new speakers. Of course, Christina, who is the ocularist for the Fun Eye Fund, will be on. She'll be our ocularist, answering all the questions and talking about prosthetic eyes. And then we have Hey Miss Teacher. If you don't know her or don't follow her, go follow Hey Miss Teacher. We have Vinny, who's an athlete. He plays for the Savannah Bananas. And then we have a mother. Her name is Summer. And so for the first time, we have a mother advocate speaking at the conference. So I think this will really help bridge the gap for parents, for children, for even adults. It's just like another layer that we get to learn from one another, hear one another's experiences. There is nothing, and I will die on the top of this hill. There's nothing more valuable in life than being able to sit down, virtually or on the phone or anywhere, social media, and read and listen and share your experience, your strength, your hope with someone else that also can understand that same experience, strength, and hope, and vice versa. There's nothing more valuable than just that, no matter what you're going through. And that's the same, even in business, it's like running a business and being an entrepreneur can be scary and hard and frustrating. And so being able to do that with other entrepreneurs that are running coaching businesses, again, next level. And then with sobriety, with, any chronic illness, things that just happen in our lives. It's amazing to just be able to connect with a group of people that can understand. So that's what EYEHESIVE does for our One Eye gang. And I'm just so excited to just continue to grow these conferences. And I keep saying this, but one day they will absolutely be in person. I promise. We still have merch on the market. So that's at eyehesive.com as well too. The membership is mostly where I do all of the extra support. I just run everything through the membership. Every once in a while, I'll do one-on-one specials, or if you are really interested in a one-on-one package with me, DM me. We'll see what we can do, But I used to do more heavy in the one-on-one space there, but I feel like the membership is such a powerful space just as it is. But DM me if you want one-on-one support. So that's what's going on in EYEHESIVE. Again, any questions, reach out. I really hope that, and if there's something that you need or want or curious about, or that would be really helpful in your journey with one eye or since losing your eye, let me know. I love to just show up and honor everyone for where they're at and what they need. And, I get a lot of input from the community and from my own experience, but this is your world, baby. So if there's something you want or need and you're like, Shelby, this would be awesome, let me know and I gotcha, and we'll figure it out. And then if you hadn't seen or not following too closely, which I don't expect everyone to watch my every move, that's why I was like, okay, let's jump on this impromptu. Yeah, some of you already know. Jump on this impromptu live today of what is Shelby doing. So the other thing that I've recently launched is called Now Go Impact. So I've had people in the community that have eye stories, but then also unrelated eye injuries and things that have occurred in their life, and they've built a community and a social media following, and they have a business, and some of them do sell merch or offer coaching to their specific community, and they're just looking, again, it can be lonely and kind of scary and isolating when you don't have a community and all the resources again. So Now Go Impact is for my business owners, for my people that have followings, that are leaders in their community, that share their story, that are making impacts with their story and putting food on the table for their families, and it's like that, bridging that gap in that area too. So if you are interested in doing this, or maybe you already do this and you just want the helpful information to, create offers and to launch offers and to sell offers and to serve your community and how to show up and that personal power and that leadership, it's like every level of business, you need a new layer or a new level of like personal power, of courage, of leadership. Like what got you started isn't going to keep you growing. And that's just in life too. It's like whatever you're going through, you're working towards, like the way you started isn't going to be how you finish the finish line, It's like, yeah, slow and steady, but it's like if you want to like amp up your speed or take it to another level or bring in another type of client or just present a new offer, you're going to need to do it a little bit different and level up in these other areas of your life and in your business. So that's what Now Go Impact is for, and created to help with the business side, with the impact side, with the leadership side, with the creating a movement and bringing people together and just making more and more of a difference in the world. And I just have like the biggest vision, not only for my own businesses, but for the people I work with and their businesses. It's like I just see so many like little EYEHESIVEs out there in the world, but with different contexts. I mean, obviously more eye communities, but like people that have been paralyzed or have chronic illness or have overcome something really, really challenging in their life, or maybe lost a limb or are paralyzed or just whatever. It's like these little mini EYEHESIVEs or big giant EYEHESIVEs out there changing the world, bringing people together, connecting with one another, offering services. It's like the people I've worked with, especially, I mean, all the people I've worked with are amazing no matter where they're at in their journey, but there's something about someone that's like in their first year of going through something really hard and having someone that's been there and tell them like, it's going to be okay. And here's how it's going to be okay. And let's work on all of these things so that you yourself feels okay in the end. It's one thing to tell someone like they're going to be okay. And on social media, you make a post like you're going to be okay. It's another thing to sit down on a one-on-one private coaching call and help this person internally feel and know to their core that they're going to be okay. Like coming to that realization on their own, like is the next level. I had a client recently who was like, I can finally say that I think I'm going to be okay living with one eye. And I like when we first started working together, that was the last thing he was ever going to say or think, or not his mindset or energy. Like it was going even more downhill, which is like not what we want. It's okay to be down and low and have that frustration and those hard times with whatever you're navigating, but having someone to work so you get back up. It's like we can rise in these moments, we can do it together, we can come to a place where it's like maybe we live an even better life, maybe some blessing in disguise comes from this. Maybe we just help one more person with our own story. And that's what I truly believe is like, maybe not everything happens for a reason, but everything does happen to help other people. And I live by that from the time my eyes open to the time my eyes go to bed. How can I be of service? How can I help people? And that's not just on like social media, that's in my day-to-day life. If you know some of my story, I'm also in recovery from drugs and alcohol, and I have 4 years sober. And it's like I work with so many sponsees I'm constantly like getting phone calls from people in the program needing a listening ear, and I always answer. You know, there's so many situations and people out there, and it's like being at meetings and taking that little extra time to talk to people at the end of the meeting or before the meeting, or to clean up at the meeting or pick up trash or return the shopping cart. I always say, hold the door open, send that text, like thinking about you, grateful for you. Thank you for being in my life. Like these little teeny little things. And when we do that, like we feel better. We're making a difference. We just keep showing up, and it's just like trusting the process and all of it. And that's how I find I can trust the process. I'm like, I just show up and like take the action that I know I'm supposed to, quote unquote, or that feels good, or that's, you know, outward and helping other people, then like everything's going to be okay. Everything's just going to work out. I always get what I want when I show up for other people. You know, and it's just like the energy of like the service and knowing that like it's all gonna be okay. I'm gonna have exactly what I want and desire as long as I take the action. And, you know, some of that stuff takes a lot of courage. And definitely running a business and a social media platform takes so much courage to put yourself out there over and over and over again, to get rejected, to get said no to get made fun of, to have a mean comment, to not be understood. And like, that's okay. And we get to do it together and navigate and know that like we are in our own power. We're making a difference. There's going to be the biggest and brightest future, not only in our own lives, but the people that we're helping. You know, and I see that so clearly, and it's so big and bright for all of us, no matter what you're trying to do in your journey and in your life and where you're at currently. Like, it's your future is beautiful and bright and big, and anything is possible. I did a whole different training on this too. Anything is possible. And I believe that like through and through, because I've just seen it so much through EYEHESIVE, through building my own business, and through sobriety and the people in my life, just friends and family and relationships, and seeing everything. I love to just witness what happens in the transformations and shifts and ahas and perspective changes that people have. And on the other side of that, things blow up in their own life in like the best way, and anything is possible. And it's opening our mind and expanding our mind to that. Just knowing like our why and letting our why always drive us, and checking in. Sometimes we get far away from our why because we'll get distracted by what other people are doing on the internet, by what our family thinks we should be doing, by what, you know, anything the news tells us. You know, we're comparing, thinking we should be further ahead, thinking that like they're doing it better, or we weren't gifted with those skills, or I wish I had this, or I'm missing something. All of that like bogs down our why. And so if we can bring it back and we connect to our why every morning, what is my why? How can I be of maximum service today? How can I change the world? Like that fire in your belly, get you up and get you going, and you take the actions aligned with your why, your fire in your belly, and of service. That's manifesting. I think it's like it's inevitable. Everything's gonna work out if you do that, you know. That's, you know, how I've gotten here and how I've continued to like grow and get to the spaces that I know, you know. And it's all these learning, and there's no mistakes and there's no failures. We just learn. We keep moving, we keep trusting, we keep coming back to our own personal power, keep checking in with our own feelings. And then we get into spaces that support and expand us. So spaces that support and expand us in EYEHESIVEs, this conference, or my membership. A space that will support and expand you is follow Now Go Impact on social media. But also I have a masterclass on Wednesday. So tomorrow, it's called Audit impact audit. So this is just going to break down kind of like where you're at in your impact right now, your coaching business. We're going to audit kind of all of your content, your social media, your mindset, your leadership, your offers. We're going to dial in your why, how you're being of service, where you could be more of service. So everything I kind of just was sharing, do a full audit. Because here's also what's important about an audit in life and or in business. It's like kind of, we're not future tripping, but it's like, what do you want your future to look like? And then you have to be that now. And more importantly, the actions you're taking are to set you up for the future. So it's that long-term mindset as well too. Like what I'm doing today in my life, my health, my fitness, my business, my relationships, my career is setting me up for the future. So it is what I'm doing today, the future I want to have. And sometimes we get real honest with ourselves. If you're doing things today and you don't think that they're aligning with the future you want, then an audit needs to happen. Few little tweaks need to happen. So getting clear on like, what is the future that you want? For me, when I think about business, I want obviously financial freedom, but then freedom in my schedule. I love to travel. I want to, my boyfriend and his brother do a ton of different projects as well too. They own clothing lines, and so they do a project called the Shirt Off My Back, and they help homeless people get clothes and food. And so it's like they do a lot of traveling, and we just have really, really big ideas to like help people in other countries. And I want to help people in other countries with prosthetic eyes and more charities and nonprofits, and I want to public speak and travel and help people that are less fortunate and help people that are more fortunate too, like wherever they're at, like that connection in that space. And so the actions I take today in my life and in my business need to be aligning with where I'm going in the future. And it's not about stressing over that or fearing it. It's just kind of dialing it back in and being like, wait, okay, what if I could envision my perfect quote unquote future, what really is speaking to me? What's my heart telling me? What is it that I want? Like, don't be afraid to say it out loud, to write it down, to ask for it. And then just you'll know what it is that you kind of need to do. It's usually the things that are scary, I'll tell you that. It's like those little things, like when you really think of your future, you're like, oh, that sounds amazing, I want to do that. And when you bring it back to the present moment, you're like, oh, I have to like call the bank. Then I got to set up a 401k or a retirement plan. Like that sounds like work, and that's scary. It's like, or the future you think like, oh, I have to like quit this job and get a new one because this isn't aligning, or I have to leave this, relationship. Or sometimes you are on track and you could just relish in that too and kind of double down and enjoying the moment, knowing like, okay, yeah, I have the career that I love, the relationship that I love. I like all of this is going so well, and I can just live in this overflow and this abundance, and I don't need to be stressed about the future. None of us do. We just have to be conscious and aware of like where we're heading and making sure that we're going in the direction we want to be going in and not on like autopilot, which happens to us all at various stages. We get into it. It's so easy. It's so comfortable, and that's okay. But we got to notice and then be able to redirect, and be honest with ourselves and with the ones around us. So impact audit is going to dive into all of that deeper, and just really, kind of asking ourselves those hard questions, looking at where we're at now in business and where we want to be and where are some of our gaps. And as soon as we know those gaps, it makes it a lot easier to fill those gaps, because either it just comes from a simple mindset shift. You can fill the gap. Maybe it comes from getting a little bit more information, some research, calling someone, reading a book, a podcast, Googling something. Maybe you need some like real like support, hiring someone. or additional support, I should say, hiring someone. So once you know the gaps, they become so much easier to fill. And then it's like, instead of choppiness within our lives and in our business, it's very smooth, very easy, it's very effortless, it's free. And it can go up and down sometimes. And our goal is just to gradually have it going kind of up and smooth. And it just takes practice and that patience and coming back again to all those things that I've kind of already covered. Yeah. Patience, and that long-term mindset. And that goes with losing. That's what I'm saying. Like, losing an eye taught me like long-term mindset and patience, because it took so much longer than I thought that I was going to, or that I wanted it to. And then when I started a business, I like had that mindset already built in. I'm like, okay, maybe this will be harder and like longer and more, take longer than I anticipate. And because I was living in the mindset of that, things happen quicker than I thought they were. I was kind of all of a sudden like, oh, this is a business. This is actually working, And so it's just like picking out those little pieces in your own life where they so correlated to the other things that you're doing. It's like a big puzzle piece, I always say, and you're just filling in the little puzzle pieces. And every little bit of information from these kinds of trainings, from the things that you do, the way that you show up, the books that you read, like these self-development things are filling in all of these pieces. And it's all, what's the word I'm looking for too, though? Like, it's not a one size fits all, it's like everything's going to be different for every person. And so discernment, so you just take it with discernment too. You're like knowing that like, okay, I get to take in all of this information from all these different sources. And then I get to make a decision that's best for me, my family, my life, my lifestyle, my future, like I was talking about. So it's lots of, like in my world, I share this a lot. It's a lot of balance, duality, a lot of discernment, a lot of thinking and that awareness. And I love to write. If you know me, who's coached with me before, I'm like, journal, write. I'm a big writer. It just gets all of this brain stuff out of my head. And if you think I talk fast, I write like probably really fast. And I'm working on slowing down my talking. I get really excited, really amped up, but I'm like, as I walk into this world of like public speaking, I'm like, oh, they talk so slow and like really clearly. And I'm like, okay, I need to practice slowing it down. All right. Well, that was kind of what's going on in Shelby's world. And so I just wanted to give a dump, I guess, of everything that's going on. And again, if you have more questions, reach out to me via email, customercare@eyehesive.com. Check out the website. The iConnect virtual conference tickets are on there. Use code Shelby to get 33% off. The membership is a great option too. It's like if you really want to get locked into the community and grow, monthly, and you have a lot more building on these relationships, on these contexts, on these topics. The membership is like such an amazing space. And I just love watching it grow and grow and grow. And then if you are a business owner or thinking about it, jump into the masterclass. It is free, and that is on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I hope to see you all in my world somewhere, a lot. There's so many different places to be. I love you all so, so much. Thanks again for jumping on. I'll reshare this replay, so it'll all go out. If you did miss it, obviously you can rewatch it. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Awesome. Bye.